Right now on Up with KREM, Governor Jay Inslee is pushing pause on the statewide reopening plan.
It's a step in the right direction, but at 25%, we're still not bringing our full staff back.
This morning, how local restaurant owners are reacting.
Gonzaga University is the newest site for Chaz Health's COVID-19 vaccination efforts. We'll break down when the clinic starts and how you can get your appointment.
Mountain snow and wind stay in the forecast today. I'll let you know how much snow is expected in some of those higher elevations.
A new documentary recently featured the removal of Asian giant hornets in Washington state. This morning, we're talking to the entomologist who directed the nest eradication.
Up with KREM starts right now with Jen York, Joshua Robinson, Jeremy Legoo, and Dana Marie McNichol.
6 a.m. on our Friday morning. Welcome back to Up with KREM. Great to have you with us as we kick off our Friday morning. Also talking about this morning, Costco set to raise the company's minimum wage to $16 an hour. That's going to come next week. So this also comes as Congress is debating boosting the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Yeah, so this morning we want to ask you, should other companies increase their minimum wages? You can vote right now in this live poll that Dana Marie shared this morning.
Yeah, you can also text us your thoughts at 509-448-2000. I've been seeing those texts coming in this morning. There's a lot of people that say yes, but there are some people that say no.
Yeah, that's the perspective I really love with the chat line that we have too. You can let us know, if you're in this 18.8%, you've probably got some very good perspectives on why you feel that way. We love to share that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're going to share more on why you feel the way you do coming up later in the show as well.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, good morning, guys.
We also have Tim and Jeremy here with us. Tim's tracking some breaking news this morning. Also, Jeremy Legoo outside tracking the weather forecast and what we can expect as we head into the weekend.
Very
Hi, Jeremy.
different, right, Jeremy? From yesterday?
Yeah, can you guys hear that right now? Can you guys hear? Can you hear that?
It's the birds chirping.
The birds.
They're back.
The birds are back. They're chirping. It feels like spring out here, but colder. It's just like spring, but colder with snow on the ground and no leaves on the trees or flowers anywhere. It's basically winter. And with temps around 31 degrees, I guess we can call it basically winter. 32 degrees, we're right at freezing early on this morning. And yes, this still is winter, but if you want something to look forward to, as a meteorologist, Monday is when I start spring. You can start spring at the equinox or whatever you want to do, but meteorologically, we start spring on Monday. There's a lot that goes into it. Not going to explain it, but just know that for me, spring starts Monday. You can make it yours too. 32 degrees or about there around the inland northwest this morning, and that's thanks to a little bit of wind. Our wind quickly starts dying down later on. I'm already noticing it calming down here in the Outdoor Weather Center, but by the end of the show, I'm going to be out here going, not that bad. Our wind advisory is no longer in place for Spokane or Coeur d'Alene, but other parts of central Washington down into the Palouse still looking at those wind gusts up near 45 miles per hour later on today, and the potential for those wind gusts continuing into this afternoon and this evening. 2 to 4 inches of snow in higher valleys. I wouldn't call them hanging valleys, just valleys in the higher elevations. If you get up on those mountain peaks, 6 to 8 inches, even close to a foot in a couple of locations on top of what fell yesterday. So still a very active weather pattern. There's a lot that goes into why this weather pattern is so active, but what you need to know is it's a mix of clouds and sun today. We have some convective banding of precipitation going on later on. And for you, just know that it means that you either are going to see it or you're not. That sounds like me just covering all the bases, and yeah, it is. Temps in the low 40s later on today, so enjoy it. And I really think most of the snow from yesterday will be all gone by the time the sun sets tonight.
All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. Let's get you up to speed on some breaking news now. This morning, at least one person is hurt after a car slammed into a home on Spokane's South Hill. Now, this is near 16th. Let's take a live look now at the scene. You can still see that there are people there on scene. We know that one driver had non-life-threatening injuries because of this crash, and they were brought to a hospital because of a leg injury, and that's why that person had to be brought out of the vehicle. Right now, there is no charges, but there is right now suspicion of drugs and alcohol. Now, everybody in the house is okay, but you can imagine a very frightening morning for the folks that live there. You could see the damage to the basement window, what it looks like. This morning, our Dana Marie McNichol spoke exclusively to the homeowners.
The extraction was done by the fire department, and it was actually nice for us. Maeve just retired from the fire department, so it was a very friendly crew that were excited to help.
It was a big
They're always friendly.
reunion of sorts.
Yeah. And so,
well, we are glad they are okay. And of course, we'll continue to update you here on Up with KREM on this developing situation and on KREM.com. Jen?
Tim, thank you so much. 6:05 now. Well, this morning, Gonzaga University is preparing to open a COVID-19 vaccination clinic. Zaga alumna Dana Marie McNichol is on campus right now. She's going to explain how this new clinic will work. Hi, Dana Marie.
Hi, Jen. This is great news for our community. I'm live here on Gonzaga's campus. As you were saying, the parking lot behind me and then the McCarthy Center is where this vaccination site is going to be held, but it's hosted by Chaz Health, not by Gonzaga. So here's some information. It starts today at 9 a.m. this morning and it ends at 5 p.m. The clinic will open daily until March 2nd. Patients can get vaccinated at Gonzaga's Field House in the Martin Center or in the parking lot adjacent to the McCarthy Athletic Center and Law School. This is where I am right now. Vaccines will be available by appointment only for those who are eligible under the state's phased vaccine distribution plan. That includes those 65 years or older. Chaz will be coordinating directly with their patients on scheduling their appointment. Gonzaga leaders say they applied through the state to become a point of distribution for the vaccine. They say extra traffic is expected to create some congestion in the area of Trent, Cincinnati, and Hamilton streets. Campus parking lots next to the McCarthy Athletic Center and the law school will be discouraged while the clinic is opened. So they expect about 1,300 visitors daily, and that's until March 2nd, Jen.
All right, Dana Marie, I think a lot of people will welcome that news, especially if they've had trouble securing some appointments.
Absolutely. I mean, just another resource that this community has to be able to get our members vaccinated. And, you know, I'm not surprised Gonzaga was one that said, hey, I want to be part of this and we want to help get everybody safe.
Yeah, volunteered for that duty. All right, Dana Marie, thanks so much for bringing us that story. It is 6:07 now. Well, this morning, the east region of Washington will stay in phase 2 of reopening, at least for the time being. Governor Jay Inslee says he's pausing the reopening plan.
It's another change to Washington's reopening plan, as the governor did announce no more data will be published and there will be no more moving between phases. That means the entire state will remain in phase 2 for the foreseeable future.
Now, initially, the state had planned to access new COVID data every 2 weeks, and that would either advance or push back the region's reopening.
But Governor Inslee says that the reason for the halt is because the current protocols are working and that the huge spike we saw in the early winter months has been effectively suppressed. Now, we're going to pull up some data here that shows that consistent drop in our numbers in just a minute. You can see it right there, as Inslee says that's why Washington no longer needs such a dramatic contingency plan.
But under our current data trends and the progress we've made to knock down this third wave, they've told us that we don't need this really hair trigger circuit breaker, if you will.
Now, some restaurant owners say they feel vindicated. They say it means more stability.
Governor Inslee said that it was safe for us to be open at 25%. That means that it is safe to dine in. Like I said, when we opened at 25%, it's a step in the right direction. But at 25%, we're still not bringing our full staff back.
Now, as for that elusive phase 3, Inslee says they're working on figuring out what it might look like and that they could have an announcement in several weeks.
Well, this week, mass vaccination sites in Washington hit a record for single-day vaccinations. Combined, they administered more than 5,000 doses.
Yeah, after weather delays held up 90% of Washington's COVID-19 vaccine supply last week, we're now reportedly catching up. The state is expecting a boost in vaccine supply across the state, and health leaders say we're ready for it. This week, the state was allocated 260,000 doses, and next week we're expected to get to 280,000 doses. That's an increase of 20,000.
Now, experts say these numbers do not meet the demand, but the outlook is looking much better. By mid-March, Washington could receive up to 310,000 doses per week, and that is for the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. This does not include the potential doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. That is expected to receive emergency authorization today from the Food and Drug Administration.
6:09 now. Let's take a look at what's trending. Costco is set to raise the company's minimum wage to $16 per hour next week. Costco CEO announced that change yesterday while testifying before a Senate Budget Committee. Previously, Costco's minimum wage was at $15. The average hourly wage, though, for Costco employees is well above the company's minimum, sitting at about $24 before bonuses. He also added that wage increases typically occur twice a year for full-time employees and about once a year for part-time employees. So this morning we are asking you, should other companies increase their minimum wages? You can vote right now in our live poll this morning, as you see on your screen. And of course, that 82% has been in the majority this morning. Yes votes coming in, but we also want to hear your thoughts. All you can do is text us at 509-448-2000. We'd love to share those on Up with KREM as well.
And coming up, I'm going to let you know why yesterday morning snow and yesterday afternoon sunshine play a big role in the weather we see today. And as we head into the weekend, it's fun, but you're going to need to listen close.